You got to play the reverse game of what a lot of you play, and it's the game that most people don't recognize that I'm playing, which is I don't talk shit up front. I talk shit post game. You know why you don't want to talk about your losses? Because you told everybody how much you were going to crush it when you started this. That's why. I was 33 years old before I ever made my first video about business and built a $60 million business already. That's why it's fun. You know, like too many of you are like, oh, Susan, watch what I'm gonna do. And then you don't do anything and you're like, fuck, I don't want Susan to think I'm a loser. That's why. So how do you do it? Stop promising shit up front, put your head down and execute, and then post-game your success. This way you're not talking at all until you're there. Too many of you front. You peacock up front. You tell everybody how you're gonna do it. That fake confidence smells like shit to winners. I smell that fake confidence on you every day.
It's good.
So what happens is winners can smell it on you, so they may be nice to you, but they're disrespecting you in your head. Non-winners don't know the difference, but then when you don't win, you look like shit, and now where the fuck do you go? So let's talk about how great you are. You know? And then the other thing, this industry especially, this is another thing I absolutely do not like about this industry. People sell fake lifestyle. Like, can we stop taking fucking money out of the bank, putting it on a bed, taking a picture of it, and acting like we're so fucking awesome? Can we stop like teaming up with 4 dudes to rent a private jet to take a fucking photo and make it seem like that's the life we're living? You're not fooling anybody. And who do you think you're attracting into your fucking stream with that horse shit? Let me save you some time. You're attracting somebody who fucking wants it way too fast, doesn't want to put in the work, thinks you're so special. Do you know why I'm not as popular as I should be? People don't want to do what I'm telling them to do. You know why there's a bunch of hucksters that kind of look like me? They're also charismatic, but you know, they have a different story and they have followers and people give a shit. It's because they're selling people what they want to hear. I'm never going to tell you what you want to hear. Let me tell you the straight up truth. It's the most true of all time. Nobody in the history of time has ever been successful without hard work. Nobody. It has never happened. It's never happened. Do you know how many LeBron Jameses there are? A lot more than you think. Like Eddie Curry was a physical freak. Like, there's Ralph Sampson was a physical freak. Like, Ryan Leaf is a bigger physical freak than Peyton Manning. Nobody. And so what you do is you're like, well, look at LeBron. He was built like a fucking mountain. That's why. It's because he fucking didn't give a shit about science class in 6th grade and just focused on his game. And he put in the work. That's why. Zero times in the history did somebody else make you the money for you, underneath you. Your mama might have made the money for you and you inherited it, but you're not hiring anybody who's going to make you all your money. Are you out of your mind? Really? Like somebody's super motivated because of the timing that you got them into their world, that you're going to lay on a fucking beach and they're going to hustle? Have you broken down these concepts into a sentence and reread it back to yourself?
And I think that's the biggest thing. We talked about this backstage. We were talking about the biggest fallacy in this business is somebody thinks that I'm going to recruit that one rock star that's going to make my money for me. And that's what's given
the former high school star in your neighborhood that people really think is cool, that's the guy that's going to make you your money? What the fuck's wrong with you? Now, it gets back to the earlier part. So now that we've grounded it, if you believe it, and nobody should not believe it, that it takes a lot of work, now you got to ask yourself, what would make you work? The only thing all of you have ever worked hard at is the stuff that you've liked. Right? If my wife asked me to hang a picture in my house right now, I would fight. Some of you build a whole fucking wing. You got to figure yourself out. You got to stop worrying about what everybody else thinks. You got to figure yourself out, my friends. Figure yourself out and be unabashful, right? Be unabashful. Like, Great, you suck at this. I'm proud that I suck at handy shit. Great, you want to call me not a real man? Super. How much money you got? It was funny, I was razzing on one of the kids, my assistant, Nate, winner. And this is how I built him. I would razz him, I'm very competitive. I would razz him about my shit. I mean, you're not as charismatic on video as I am. And I was trying to teach him something, and he wasn't learning. A year, wasn't learning. So finally I was like, fuck, I don't want to I'm done razzing him. I love this kid, he's amazing. I'm like, Nate, the next time I say anything that sounds like what I've been saying, I want you to look me dead in the face and ask me what my handicap is, referring to golf. He's a fucking scratch golfer. I don't think I've played golf 4 times. And then he kept doing it, and it's completely changed who he is. How much, like what he's done professionally, the friends he has kept, the girls he's dating. It's insane. Don't fight on somebody else's turf. Got it? Don't compare yourself to me in social media marketing. Let me save you time. You're gonna fucking lose. Compete on somebody else's shit is a huge mistake, and a lot of you are doing that. Compete on your shit. But if you're gonna compete on your shit, that does mean that 33% of you have to leave here this weekend and never be in this industry again. That is real. You're more than welcome to stay, do your thing. But that is the truth.
There was a lot of these guys that were talking about, yes, I have a 9 to 5, and some of these guys are trying to get out of that 9 to 5. One question that I really liked in here is, dude, what if I love my 9 to 5 and my side hustle? Like, how do I split my attention and my focus with the time that I'm putting in on that?
Listen, on a very serious note, because we've been going one route, if you're happy, you've already won. You should go home. Like, if you're happy with how much you make, with your wife, with your kids, with your leisure, with your split, like, that's not for me to tell you. That's for you to tell yourself. I really mean it. If you're happy, then, then that's it, man. That's the best. This is not about a money thing. This is not about, that's just not. Like, I have so many friends that were early Facebook and Twitter. I mean, do you know how many friends that I have that have 50, 80 million dollars in the bank and are miserable? Like, fucked up dudes. Because that's not money, and I always hate when friends are like, oh, it's easy for you to say, you have money. I'm like, dude, you knew me when I didn't have money. I was the happiest dude you knew. That's why you were friends with me. Because you're always miserable, Tyler, you fucking fuckface. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so I don't know, I mean, right? Like, the far majority of my friends growing up were miserable, and I was such positive energy that was what was attractive, right? Like, so people are just so tone deaf. My friends, when Facebook came out and I started getting my shit, like all these emails still, opening line, holy shit, Gary, I just saw you on Conan O'Brien or the Today Show or the cover of this magazine. I'm so happy for you. People have good intent on these Facebook messages that you haven't seen in 13 years. You're so lucky, I'm so happy for you, and that's when my shit, I'm like a bull. That word luck, I am lucky. I was born a white male, I was born in Russia and was able to come to America. There's a lot of luck. I was born to a mother that built unbelievable self-esteem into me. So many of you here are not gonna win to the level that I won because you still haven't dumped the poison out that your mom or dad put in you, right? So I'm so lucky, but I'm definitely not lucky professionally. Like every one of those people, my favorite was like, the guy who sends me an email, was a really popular guy in high school, a good friend of mine. I wrote him back immediately. I was like, Doug, awesome to see you. You look great. You looked great. His picture. Real quick though, this isn't luck. Let me remind you that in high school and in college, remember every weekend when you and Garrett and T. Adam went to the Jersey Shore and banged chicks? Yeah, I worked. So fuck you with that luck shit. That felt good. Because it sucked. Thank God social media wasn't around back then. The FOMO was far less. Coming to school on Monday and hearing that they hooked up with chicks would have been way harder actually seeing those Instagram photos.
So what about these guys that...
So to answer that question, it's just very personal.
Yeah.
If you're really you mentioned it, like some of you are like, hey, I'm really like my 9 to 5, and that's great. Then that's awesome. Like, you don't have to make as much as me or him or that person. If you're in a good spot, and then there's work-life balance. I'm gonna miss, today's Saturday. I don't do this, but I did it. I'm not here, but I appreciate it. But I'm going a different way on this. I'm really missing Misha and Xander time, and I don't have a lot. Probably I probably have less kid times than almost everybody in this room. And I'm now punting another day, right? On the hustle, like, you know, like, I envy my friends who will see every single game and recital and reaction, and I won't. Like, we all give up something. That's just real. And so I can't tell you how much or how little, right? I can't tell you how much or little you've got to be like, the biggest regret of my life is the first 5 years of my marriage, not going on 2 extra weeks vacation with Lizzie to compound those, 10 trips that I don't have, that I fucked up. I was too much in the grind and I fucked it up, but I learned from it, and I do feel like I'm extreme vacationing with the kids and getting a much more fulfilled thing. So, we're all gonna look back at things and regret. It's human nature. I'm just very in tune to when push comes to shove, I need to be here. I know who I am. And I may not be proud of it. It may not be the most politically correct thing in today's politically correct environment, but I just know myself, and I'm willing to take all the bullets. I'm thrilled because I know where I net out. I know a lot of you that like me in this room didn't like me the first time you came across me. Raise your hand if that's real. Fuck, that hurt. No, but I know it because I know, especially in this environment, I just started talking more about like how I roll in public versus private. Like, I peacock, I get more energy, there's people, I become more of a performer, I go for the punchline, and I'm talking about stuff that I know, which brings out the most confident, aka egotistical version of myself. But I know that a lot of those people that raised their hand have then eventually, I broke through because they're like, oh, wait a minute. And then the smartest of them realized, the other shoe hasn't dropped. Like, I can't find out what he's trying to extract from me. And the punchline is, yeah, I get competitive every 2 or 3 years and want to sell my $18 book. But other than that, I don't need anything from you. I'm not trying to get anything from you. I'm trying to build my legacy through you. I want you to tell your grandkids that this was your life, and then you went to Dallas, Texas, and some dude said something, and it changed the way you did it, and it made it better for you. And you want that for that grandson. That's what I want. Because I'm already whole. Because I don't need anybody. This is that immigrant shit. This is being poor. I don't need you. I don't want a handout. I'm visceral to a handout. I'm visceral to complaining. Do you know why I built Wine Library so fast? Because I didn't want to owe my parents anything. Let's really chop my head open and open my brain. I worked so hard and punted my youth because I never wanted my parents to feel like they gave me more than I gave them. That's crazy. Like, on a very serious, that's how deeply, that's how I am. Like, that was what drove me. I never wanted, and then it got a little weird because it went so big and I was probably razzing them a little bit. And then they punched me in the mouth. Which was a good job by them, because I was starting to get, I was so obsessed with making it even that when it became clear that it wasn't, I was even vocal about that, which is inappropriate, and that was good that they kind of, my mom, she's a fucking gangster. But that's how passionate I was. It was probably one of the least noble things I did was I helped you build your dream house. I got into a dark place because I was so driven by never having anybody able to say they did more for me than I did for them. I live on 5149. I am obsessed with giving you more than you give me. And if somebody ever gives me anything, I then default into a transformer and then start trying to give them more. I hate when people think they're giving me something. Don't give me shit. I want nothing from you.